My advanced nurse practitioner role for the past 5 years has developed within a community-led urgent response team. Transitioning into the same role but within primary care has been challenging. I wanted to understand more of how the role has been created and the future of the AMP role within primary care to give me insight into my current development needs. I have therefore based my assignment on the AMP role in primary care and introduce it as the slide. A registered nurse who has acquired the expert knowledge base, complex decision-making skills and clinical competencies for advanced practice, the characteristics of which are shaped by the context and or country in which he or she is credentialed. A master's degree is recommended for entry level. That's the definition from the International Council of Nurses. When considering the macro influences, the expanded role has been developed by many factors, including staff shortages, changing population needs, and the nursing profession's desire to evolve and advance the role. Although it is clear from the research, the AMP role has largely been driven by political influence, it is suggested this has been a legislative response to the needs of the National Health Service. This can be seen in the following, which were significant reforms. The NHS plan in 2000 was a primary influencing driver. It concluded current working patterns was unsustainable and nursing roles were extended to a wider range of tasks. Some key roles were identified to support nurse development and their professional contribution to the NHS. The plan superseded previous ideas from the Cumberledge report and nurse prescribing became a skill. Subsequent political agendas seemed to drive the role and the contribution it could make to the NHS. The AMP population was further increased by the Department of Health in 2002 in response to the Wellness report. The European Working Time Directive also led to more nurses undertaking advanced practice roles. The coalition government released the white paper. Again, these were significant reforms. Following on, the Health and Social Care Act created clinical commissioning groups, which replaced primary care trusts. They are clinically led statutory NHS bodies and can be seen in current practice. This also led to a radical shift in the focus of care from hospital to community health services. Subsequently, due to the increased demand, a crisis developed within community services, specifically general practice. This can be seen in the Campaign for Safe Working in General Practice, the GP Forward View, and Understanding Pressures in General Practice. As a response to the increase in workload, locality hubs have been formed to change the model of care delivery in primary care. This is to manage the increasing needs of an ageing population, budget constraints and a shortage of GPs. This has seen a significant progression in the number of AMPs in community services. The British Medical Association advocate the role of the AMP, suggesting it provides clinical and cost effectiveness and suggests the simplest model should include AMPs, therefore increasing patient capacity and reducing demand on GPs. Some aspects of this new model can be seen in practice. Locally, AMPs provide bookable, routine and same-day urgent appointments and cover extended access services. The appointments are managed by an AMP telephone triage system, which have become the centre of general practice for all coordination of face-to-face contacts and the relevant professional. Urgent same-day appointments are managed with 3 AMPs and 1 GP, supervising and supporting as necessary. More recently, Public Health England have agreed a 5-year general medical services contract for 2019 and 20. The investment will include funding for around 20,000 more health professionals, including pharmacists, physician associates, physiotherapists, community paramedics, and social prescribing link workers. The wide range of health professionals will be used for patient care, allowing GPs to focus more on patients with complex needs. AMPs are expected to be an integral part of care provision, and potentially their role could see increasing complexity. Although there seems to be a growing demand for AMPs within primary care and community services, a significant concern within the UK is the lack of recognition and regulation. Critics suggest the law has been developed without organisation in the UK and suggest the UK requirements for MPs have remained flexible and permissive compared to other countries. Prior to the new reforms, it was identified there was a continuing need for a set of nationally agreed standards for advanced level practice in nursing. This was addressed by the Department of Health. A statement benchmarking the AMP role introduced themes to be fundamental aspects to the role. The purpose was to enhance patient safety and deliver high quality care. The statement existed to support local governance and assist in good employment practice to encourage consistency in wage development. Local governance still adopts the AMP role through employers. The system relies on employers taking responsibility for initial workforce planning, providing education, role clarity and supervision. However, further inconsistencies still remain. In a recent survey, 323 nurses considered to be working at an advanced level revealed a wide variety of job titles, activities in practice, educational backgrounds and job grades. Although the influencing drivers are still clear, AMP roles are integral within the new model of care delivery, so it would be acceptable to think criteria and regulation for the AMP profession would be consistent. AMPs now make up a large percentage of the workforce within general practice, but the role is yet to still be standardised through regulation. Standards comparison suggests nurses have continued to adapt in response to NHS needs. However, the role has lacked consistency in scope of practice, training and regulation. This has led to the role being developed opportunistically, causing widespread discrepancy in practice. Significant implications for AMPs can be considered. There is no specific training to become an AMP. The RCN and Department of Health recommend AMPs are educated to master's level. However, the reality is this could be a nurse educated from diploma to PhD level. One survey found less than a third of AMPs in the UK are educated to a master's level. Another flaw with local accountability is skills required to be an AMP. It is suggested the role requires expert knowledge base, complex decision-making skills, including prescribing medicine. However, commonly in practice, the GPs are content to sign prescriptions from AMP assessment, suggesting fundamentals of the role can be ignored, causing more inconsistent approaches to patient care. In a recent qualitative study, undertaking prescribing qualifications and advanced clinical assessment skills were identified as a desire from the nurses, further questioning what clinical activities are being undertaken under this job title. If AMPs are providing the majority of primary care consultations, it is imperative employers recognise the complexity and skills required for the role, and not just see it as a cheaper workforce, and create a dilution in skill mix. A general consensus within practice is that training and skill acquirement can be achieved within practice during daily working, but this is dependent on support and supervision. Although the RCN and Department of Health claim to define the AMP role and make recommendations, without consistency and validation, the role is under control of the employers. This could further disadvantage AMPs. Development and support have been established for better patient outcomes, with the GP and AMP working in partnership. However, there are challenges in practice, with often one duty GP supporting all nursing staff, while other GPs have routine clinics. This is problematic in practice when AMP clinic times are run on 20-minute appointments. In practice, 15 to 20-minute appointments are standard and maintained for patient accessibility, irrespective of AMP's training, experience and competencies. It can also be disadvantaged financially. This can be seen in practice too. Three AMPs with different backgrounds and qualifications paid on different scales but in reality see the same patients. There are also legal implications for nursing working at an advanced level. AMPs must be aware if they take on a task previously performed by a doctor, they must perform it to the same standard. Therefore, whilst waiting for AMC regulation of AMPs, employers need to ensure AMPs have the appropriate and correct education, training and level of support. This is to ensure public safety and reduce risk. It is clear from the implications, AMPs need to be aware of the challenges to local regulation and use caution when applying for AMP roles, especially as there has been a crossover of law boundaries in primary care. Ideally, AMPs should look for employees who are adhering to guidelines developed by professional bodies on the appropriate training, pay, working conditions and support. A recent study found support as a crucial element to the AMP role when practicing independently. The concurrent theme was quick access to GPs to provide quality care, although the generalisability of this study was limited due to the small sample size. Although AMPs are known to work similarly to GPs, the housing boundaries and their limitations are important skills for the AMP. They need to take responsibility, ensuring they have the relevant skills for the role. Self-regulation can be considered important following the implications already discussed. The NMC suggests this can be supported through revalidation. This could inform employers of ongoing training needs and support. The RTN also provides credentialing opportunities. In lack of professional regulation, it is a fairly new concept. The purpose is to assess the background and legitimacy of nurses to practice at an advanced level through assessing their qualifications, experience and competence, thus creating a consistent set of fundamental skills essential for the role. Credentialing claims to allow nurses to gain formal recognition of their level of expertise and skill in their clinical practice through recognition of a public database and has been included within the new GP contract. Although this approach would have implications, it would mean a review of the job descriptions and pay scales, suggesting its use is limited and costly for the AMP. It would not change the fluctuations of the AMP's skill or role, while local governance continues. As previously discussed, the roles are ad hoc, dependent on employers' needs. It therefore cannot be a substitute for regulation and validation. Nurses need to continue to push for validation to get the recognition and consistency within the role and work environment. Despite the challenges for AMPs, research suggests there are overwhelming positive conclusions regarding the value of the role and patient satisfaction in primary care models. This could be a different approach AMPs take during a consultation. It is suggested in a recent study, AMPs showed a combination of nursing skills and a medicine-based approach, which demonstrates a more humanistic approach compared to GPs, who were being suggested to be more paternalistic. GPs' consultations were described as specific to the point in getting the job done, compared to nursing consultations were more of a balanced relationship and encouragement patient participation, interaction, which could explain in practice why AMP consultations tends to be longer than a routine 10-minute GP appointment. More recently, the RCN cited Barrett's study of communication processes and social interactions in AMP consultations in primary care. The study revealed consultations were open to patients' agendas, clear explanations and clinical reason was given, providing a positive experience for the patient. In summary, this presentation has provided evidence of clear political drivers which have influenced the AMP role in primary care as a response to the changing needs of the NHS. Although there are clear positive outcomes for the patient, AMPs need to be aware of the implications discussed in relevance to the role, skills acquisition, training education and support to practice safely. Nurses need to continue to push for regulation and validation of the role to obtain recognition and consistency within the role and the work environment, especially within the remit of the new political focus.